Look, I get it, this wasn't the strongest season, but it wasn't awful, right? Episodes 1, 2, and 3 were great, especially the flashback scene of Grogu at the temple with Kelleran and Bo-Katan and Din Djarin's connection. But around episode 4, the show kind of felt like a sitcom. The episodes stopped connecting. It almost felt like these episodes were just extended shorts like Tales of the Jedi. The Armorer seemed really sus the entire season, but we didn't get an answer to it, which I thought we would in the finale. To me, the season had one target in mind: use the best series in Star Wars and honestly Disney altogether to sell as much merchandise as possible. I mean, it's pretty obvious that for this season, Grogu was only in it for fan service. I mean, he used to have a purpose in the show, learning his Jedi powers and possibly becoming a Padawan, helping the Jedi rebuild the Order. Now it's kind of like a dog that does one cool trick an episode. But it doesn't stop there. Star Wars needed more characters to market, so Bo-Katan basically got thrust into the lead role by episode 4. She was without a doubt, however, the best character in the series. She was wildly creative and impactful, overwhelmingly moving and entertaining. And no, I'm not a 2%er. She's just badass, okay? But Disney has a really bad habit that whenever they're trying to develop a character, they kind of throw everyone else to the side. This happened in Kenobi with Reva, this happened to Finn in the sequels, and to Boba Fett in his own show. Basically, Disney's writing room thinks developing characters means that they are the only one that gets attention for long periods of time. Also, it kind of seemed like Disney was afraid to try something new in this series. They hinted at a Gideon arc and that the scientists that they would capture, which I thought was gonna be a bigger part of the plan, but it kind of wasn't, at least not in this season. Season 3 got a lot of crap from the fan base because it was all over the place, felt a little bit like the prequels with more politics than we're used to, and overall wasn't that entertaining. See, this cloning plot that they tried to create was actually kind of cool, but it was really rushed. Almost like they were too scared to write in a storyline for it, so they just kind of gave us the beginning and the end. Basically a big nothing burger. We got a really weird episode to save a random Mandalorian foundling that turns out to be Paz Vizsla's son, and we also got Lizzo and Jack Black losing their kingdom to Skynet. We also got an awesome pirate exchange, which was cool visually, but ultimately didn't push the plot forward. But what is the point of this video? It's not that Disney is trying to sell more t-shirts with Grogu's face. It's not that Dave Filoni and Happy Hogan are too scared to write high concept plot lines. Like most Disney shows, they think we need quantity in order to stay subscribed. Disney needs content, so they're just gonna slow plot lines in all their shows like they've already done. Episodes are gonna be full of more filler and empty calories. Characters are gonna feel slightly more immortal than they used to. And with slower storylines created by filler episodes, plot lines can be extended. More characters can get spin-off shows, and then there's more seasons. Of course, we say subscribe because if you're like me and probably like you, you're gonna eat up whatever Star Wars content comes out. This kind of format is something us as fans are going to have to get used to. 8 to 10 episodes a season, with 3 or 4 of those being slightly slow, maybe filler, maybe a backstory episode. I mean, we basically got an entire episode's worth of Tusken Raiders in the Book of Boba Fett.
I also would have liked to see Grogu learn to use his abilities a little bit more. Maybe he figured out a new trick, but he just decided to jump around the entire season. To me, it was hard to get invested towards the end. I was really hoping the finale would be a lot better, but it just wasn't. Mando escapes like James Bond after that capture episode, Paz Vizsla dies, and Bo-Katan leads a great charge. Overall, I thought it would amount to a little bit more, but it kind of didn't. It was a little anticlimactic at the end. I was kind of upset about the Darksaber dying. It was a MacGuffin, and I thought it would survive a little bit longer. It was a huge premise over the last season or so, and it was a shame for it to go away the way it did. We saw it in the finale of season 1, and it was so crucial that this sword was going to amount to a lot more. I get that they're supposed to stray away from their past and go into a new, but this didn't feel right. The way she lost it, the way we lost it, was really anticlimactic again. It just seems like Star Wars is always rushing to get to the end. They don't really feel like flushing out the content in the middle and the parts that fill in to figure out the characters. They just want to get to the end and get the project done. It's been a huge issue basically ever since Disney took over. It's like the beginning is pretty good, the ending is alright, and the middle is just no one has any idea what's going on. I did like the Kenobi series a lot, mostly because Ewan McGregor and Hayden Christensen kind of stole the show, especially their last fight scene, and the finale was awesome. The show itself was a little all over the place, but because the ending was so good, all of us were just kind of okay with it. Because the ending here wasn't that great, it kind of left a bad taste in our mouths.
I feel like I kind of saw this coming, so I wasn't let down that much, but much of the fan base was fairly disappointed with Mando Season 3, leaving us skeptical for Ahsoka, which is being reported as a make or break. Whatever that means. Disney wants quantity in content, more seasons, more shows, more shorts, and eventually more movies. I do expect us to still get quality content from time to time, just not as high of a bar as the first 2 seasons of Mandalorian did set. The The trailers for Ahsoka do look phenomenal, and I expect there to be 2 or 3 episodes of some pretty harsh reaction from the audience. As I'm already mentally prepared for it, I won't be that disappointed. I will only be pleasantly surprised if the latter prevails. Let me know what you think about Mandalorian Season 3 and your expectations for Ahsoka. See you in the next video.